Hi, friends. Welcome to Tabletop Tonight. I'm Ruel Gaviola, and this is Ruel's Wrap Up. This is a monthly show where I go back and look back at the games that I played last month, and I rank them according to what I like the best. And I'm very fortunate that I work in this business because I've gotten to the point where I can select and choose what I cover on the channel, and I do this mainly on Twitch. You can hit the show notes below to find the links to where you can find me all over the interwebs. But I usually play games on Twitch, and I get to select and choose now, so I'm not playing anything really bad that I don't want to cover because I don't have the time for that, and you don't either. So let's talk about the games that I played this month. I played 22 different games, starting with number 22, the Star Wars trivia game. Now, this is something I normally wouldn't play, but it was May 4th last month. Star Wars Day. I'm a big Star Wars geek. And Michelle bought this game for me years ago. And I busted out every May 4th because it's a fun little trivia game. Now, this game, since it was released so long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I hear y'all talking now. This one was released during the prequel and the original trilogy. There is no such thing in this game as the sequel trilogy, so this is just episodes 1 through 6. And it's two games in one, actually. It's got trivia cards, would ask all kinds of trivia questions throughout the 6 episodes. But my favorite part of it is this right here. It's like Timeline. If you ever played Timeline, the card game, this basically takes that idea of, hey, here are a bunch of photos from all the different series, and you have to put them in timeline order. You don't know where they go. You're taking a guess, and you can see here, like, oh, is this in episode 3? Is it in episode 2 or 4 or whatever? And then it says, like, it'll say, like, if you see on the card there, 6.3, that is in Return of the Jedi towards the start of the movie. Something like 5.11 right there on screen. That is the end of Empire Strikes Back, basically, or the mid part of it. And if you get it right, then you get a point, and you add it to the timeline, and it expands. So really fun timeline-inspired game. The trivia, honestly, I'm terrible at it because they start getting like, what's the name of this ship, or what? It's like, oh, I don't know. If it's not a X-wing or TIE fighter, I have no idea. They get pretty hardcore about it. But for you Star Wars fans, it is a blast. So that's my number 22 game of the month of May. And, appropriate that I played it for, what's it called? I played it for May 4th, Star Wars Day. Okay, so my next game, as you can see here, I'm typing it into YouTube because I don't have a playthrough of it. But my friend Becca Scott did a video for The Mind. This is a game that I played. Where did I play it? I played it with, my buddy Daryl and my other buddy Gil. We played this. It'd been a while since we got together the game, and we played other games, and this was like one towards the end of the session there. And I forgot how much I like this one. It's such a cool little trick, right? You think you're mind reading or whatever. You're just playing numbers in a sequential order 1 through 100, but you can't talk. There's no turn order. Everyone just has a random hand of however many cards. And as you can see, Becca and friends there, you're just waiting to play a card, and you're hoping it's in sequential order. I was so just enamored of this game when it came out. I was blown away by, like, oh my gosh, this is really, what is this? It's like magic to me, And then so, anyways, talking to Becca years later, I talked about how much I like the game, and she's like, oh, it's something. It's actually something similar to what she does and actors do in improv. I think training or actor training or something, or in school. She said we had similar exercises where we couldn't talk, and we had to like sort of feed off each other. And I think it was like a similar thing where you had to play things in order. But anyways, you have a few lives to get through the round. There's like, depending on how many players, you have to get through a certain number of levels. My nephew and I, years ago, I think we got to almost the finish. I've never completed this game. It's like some crazy amount, but shout out to my nephew. We almost did it 2 players. We were like super close. It was like one level away. But anyways, really fun game. Highly recommend. It's not for everyone. And that's the end of the video already. That's how quick it is. It's not for everyone, but I would recommend trying it at least once. It's such a trip to me. But good times, fun times. That is The Mind. Okay, let's move on to my number 20. This is a favorite of my family. So this is called Strike. And a game from Ravensburger that seems to always go out of print. I don't know what it is. They keep it in print for a while, and then it goes out of print. Here's me, Michelle, and Lauren playing it, and I was actually explaining to them on camera here. This was during one of our, I think, this was back in the day when we were playing. When we're still, no, we were on Twitch by then. But anyways, you take dice. It's this cute little theme of being in an arena. These are your gladiators, and you throw the dice in. It's push your luck. It's set collection. It's player elimination. It's so fast. It plays in like 5 to 10 minutes. I love it. And you're basically just tossing dice, trying to be the last player standing. If you throw dice in there and it doesn't match anything, the die stays in there. You can push your luck by trying to get another one. If they ever match up, if pairs, triples, or whatever, you're going to take those dice out and keep them so you have more dice. If at any time all the dice are gone, or you've taken all the dice out of the arena or the box there, the next player has to go all in. They roll all their dice, and it's so much fun whenever that happens, right? It's so nerve-wracking. Instead of the number 1, it's been replaced by an X. If you roll an X, that dice just gets taken out of the game. That die is eliminated. So it's really fun. I highly recommend this. I will always keep this in my collection. I got to play this recently. Lauren and I went to the Brothers Murph studio, and we played a bunch of games, and was it this one? Yeah, I believe it was. We played some filler games after we'd done like a sponsored video with them. So a lot of fun. Oh, there's Bruno. I don't know if y'all can see Bruno's there. That's our pug that passed away last year. Oh, we miss Bruno. He's so big. Oh my gosh. But anyways, Strike, folks. Such a great game. Go get it. Go check it out. And that's my number 20. Let's move on to my number 19 game. This one, this is a good one. I like this one. I like all these games, but this one I played with my buddy Daryl. This is Gizmos, and it ranks number 19. And where did did I not? I don't think I have it up on my channel yet. I thought I did. It says Gizmos. Let me see. Let's go to my channel. We did. I don't have the video up yet, so I'm gonna have to find someone else's video. Gizmos board game. Who's got a video up here? We got 3-minute board games, Dice Tower. Hey, we got our friends from Board Game Geek TV, Nikki, Lincoln, and the gang. They're playing it right there on game night. Gizmos is a Phil Walker Harding game, praise be. As a engine building game, you grab little what are they called, marbles out of the container there. And when I first saw the game, I just immediately thought of Potion Explosion, right? But it's not Potion Explosion. It is a game of set collecting and engine building. You collect the marbles, and then you turn those marbles in to build the gizmos on your little machine here. And those are going to give you bonuses depending on if you pick a certain color, if you build a certain color, and so forth. You have certain limitations. You can build gizmos to expand how many marbles you have, and so forth. It's a lot of fun. I've actually been playing a little bit more of this on BGA, Board Game Arena, these days. But Daryl and I live streamed it recently. And again, it's Phil Walker Harding, folks. Go get it. It's wonderful. Okay, that was my number 19 game. Let's move on to number 18. Okay, so number 18 is SlackJack, and this is a game that Lauren and I, we got to join Amanda Panna and the Brothers Murph at the Brothers Murph studio here in Southern California, and we got to play this wonderful little deduction game, social deduction game. And I just say those words and I start cringing because, if y'all know, I do not like social deduction games. However, certain ones I do enjoy. Deduction games, I like the Search for Planet X, Search for Lost Species. Social deduction games, I really liked Murder in Hong Kong, and I really enjoyed SlackJack. And also, SlackJack sort of reminded me of something that I like in social deduction games, where they have cards and it's really quick to get to the table, and you're not spending like hours or half hour, even like 20 minutes. This is like a 10-15 minute game. You don't spend too much time trying to lie and figure out who's lying like that. I don't know why it is. It's just not my jam. But I liked a game like Night of the Ninja. I thought did it really well. It's sort of like Citadels and a social deduction game. SlackJack does this really neat thing, and I think they had me at the whole like, hey, this is blackjack meets social deduction, right? As a former card player, I've always enjoyed blackjack throughout my life, and this takes that and adds a nice little social deduction element to it. So you don't know who's who or who's on what team or whatever. Some are pirates, some are non-pirates, and the object of the game is to be as on the team that's as close as to 21 as possible. Each card has a numerical value. Some of the cards that you have in your hand or whatnot are going to have special abilities that trigger. And if you're on a certain team, you'll get, points. If not, you'll get this or won't get that. I thought it was very clever, and we played a couple of rounds of it on the Brothers Murph channel. You can check it out on Twitch. Their VOD is there available now. But yeah, fun little game. I liked it, and I was surprised how much that I liked it, honestly. So that's number 18. Let's move on to number 17. This is a game that I did over on the Rahdo Runs Through channel. And why don't I type that in? It is the Ninth Circle. This was a Kickstarter preview that I did let me go to YouTube. That's where the video lives. Ninth Circle on Rahdo's channel. I did the paid preview of this. This was a area control game with simultaneous action selection, sort of some hidden movement as well. So what are you doing? I don't know why. Oh, why is this taking? Okay, there it is. There's the video. Oh, I'm not. Did not reactivate my YouTube premium. That's why stuff was showing up. Anyways, hey, we are demons in hell, trying to satisfy the main demon god, doing that through area control and secret bidding. I thought it was really clever. So I did a 2-player run through, which was way tougher than I thought it would be, because trying to show hey, Michelle's taking this, I'm taking that. And then you reveal and you place your cubes depending on where you had hidden them in that first phase. And eventually, whoever's, you're going to go in order, in the specific order, clockwise. Certain circles of hell are going to activate. And that can move you. It can add cubes or minions, or they can, bump things off, or it can deny you from going somewhere. It's very interesting, and I thought it was really well done for an area control game that really had this nice little bit of meta to it, right? Sort of like a social deduction game. This is not social deduction, but it's got that meta of hey, I know Michelle's going to go here, so I'm going to go here. But then Michelle's probably thinking, well, I know Ruel knows that I'm going to go here, so now I'm going to, go do the opposite of that. So a lot of that thinking is in the game, and I thought it was really well done. Clever game. They funded on Kickstarter, but unfortunately they canceled because I think they wanted to fund a little higher than, they funded, but they wanted to raise more funds. So what they're going to do apparently is they're going to retool a couple of things based on feedback from play testers and so forth, and then move on with a new campaign. So it'll be funded next time, and they really want more money to do a better quality production and so forth, I believe. So again, that is Ninth Circle. You could catch the run through. It's still up on Rahdo's channel. Okay, number 16 on my list of games that I played last month in May is the game Kites. And, I was just over at the Brothers Murph channel. So why don't I go back over there and find that video, because this game, Kites, we actually played during the SlackJack, at the end of the SlackJack playthrough. We had some time. We played a bunch of games of SlackJack, and then we had time to. Oh, there's Strike, which I talked about earlier, and then the other one was Kites. There it is here. This was Lauren's first time playing, so we had a blast with this. It's a real-time game. Each sand timer represents a kite that you're trying to keep up in the air. It's a cooperative game, and it plays in 5-10 minutes. I've seriously played games that lasted a minute because we just bad. But I played this with Lauren and the Brothers Murph and Amanda Panda. We did not win. We played a couple of games. We were close. But what you do is everyone has a hand of cards, and you play a card, and you're going to flip over those sand timers. Now, if the cards usually have 2 of them, so you're going to turn over, for instance, the yellow and blue. If the sand ever runs out, you've lost the game. The kites have fallen to the ground. So it's a lot of teamwork, trying to you can say, hey, I've got red, go ahead and turn over the red, I'll be fine, and so forth. If you ever get a single color, you could either use that color, for instance a yellow, or you could turn in the white one. The white one is crucial because at the end of the game, when you've gone through all the cards in the deck, you have to get through all the cards in your hand, and at that point you cannot turn over the white one. So it's a race against that. Very clever. It's been a hit ever since we got it and played it. I actually just played this. I was just showed it to you with Lauren and the crew here. So it was Lauren's first time playing, and I was really excited that she enjoyed it. So that's Kites at number 16. Number 15. This one I don't know if I have on video. It is Kariba, not Karuba. I always want to say Karuba, but it is Kariba from one of my favorite designers of all time, probably my favorite designer of all time, Reiner Knizia. So let me see. Maybe did I play this with Daryl on my channel? Let's see. Ruel Gaviola. Probably not. I played it several times with Daryl. Let's see. Oh, was it in this video? Maybe it was in this one, friends. Let's check the show notes. Yeah, we did. Oh, awesome. I played this recently with Daryl, my friends Daryl and Gil. We played in person, real life, folks. I mean, it's nice to be able to get together in real life again, right? So I played this with them, and it was wonderful. It is a game. Man, why is this taking so long? Okay, there it is. It's a simple game of hand management. You have cards, and Daryl's dealing out the cards there. Actually, he might be teaching the game. Let me go to the action here. And you have this watering hole. That's the middle. You have all these animals. You put them in the watering hole. And the cards are numbered 1 through 7 or 8, I believe. And as you place cards down, the higher cards are going to eat the smaller cards, right? The higher up in the food chain, animal kingdom or whatever. And the object of the game is to get as many as possible in your hand. The numbers don't matter once they're in your hand. You're just physically counting how many cards you have. But it's really neat because if you can time it just right, you're going to be able to, eat a bunch of cards. So, you can see the number 8 there. They keep piling up, and you have to play the number 1, right? It's like I think it's the elephant and the mouse, which is really cute. And you can see there, when you place 3, that's when you can eat the next one. It's not, you put 1 down, that's fine. You put a second. The player that puts a 3rd or 4th is going to eat the other animal, the next one in the chain. Very quick game, very clever. It's simple, but it's got just enough that I really want a copy of this. It's only like 12 or 13 bucks retail. So that is Kariba from Reiner Knizia. All right. Moving right along, let's go on to my number 14 game of the month. These are the games that I played in May 2023, friends. Hopefully you have some great gaming. Number 14 is a game I played several times on my channel, Overboss, a boss monster adventure. I played this as part of, let me see, what did I do? I played a solo game of it. Oh, you know what it was? It was for the solo challenge, the LNJ challenge. If you don't know, folks, on my Discord, we have a great community there, and we play a lot of games, and we talk about a lot of games, and we have solo challenges on there as well. The solo challenges are a different game every couple of weeks, every month or so, and the latest one is Overboss, Boss Monster Adventure, and what we do is, set up Legends and James, they set up like a specific setup for everyone to play. It's not a hardcore contest or anything, just, a way to play games together over the internet. It's always solo games, and I don't know why first of all, my mouse didn't work earlier, and now my internet's all slow. But anyways, Overboss is a tile laying game from the designer, Kevin Russ. He did Calico, which is another wonderful tile laying game, probably around the same time. This one didn't get quite as much buzz as Calico. Calico, of course, you got it's cats, so cats are hot, theme-wise. But I think what is wonderful as Overboss is, and arguably, this could be the better tile laying game between this and Calico. Honestly, I feel like it's right up there. However, Calico has one thing going for it over Overboss, and I think this sort of holds back Overboss in a lot of people's minds, is the setup and teardown of this game takes a lot longer than I wish it did. It's worth it, but there's a lot of bits and pieces, and for a tile laying game, you have to bring in different tiles and whatnot. It is a bit much of a big setup and teardown. However, totally worth it. I really like this one. I think it's a wonderful dual lane or double drafting, where you're drafting the tile and a monster, a little token, and you have to set those up. All the tiles score differently. The monsters has a nice little spatial element as well, where If you can get them in a row or a column, vertically or horizontally, you can score bands of them. They get you extra points. And and then you have the Overboss themselves that where the Overboss has special rules. You can do special abilities and has a special scoring condition. I love it. This actually, I may be playing through part of the campaign here. They have a solo campaign, which I think at game 5 of 6. So I need to finish that up real soon. Okay, let's move on to my number 13 game of the month. This one, let me see. What am I? Oh, here it is. I really, we did an engine building game earlier in the list from Phil Walker Harding. Fantastic Factories is my number 13. This is a game by, let me put it up on the screen here. I did it for okay, let me slow down, Ruel. Let's get things on the screen here. Fantastic Factories is number 13. Video's slow because my internet's freaking out right now. But Fantastic Factories by Joseph Chen is an awesome engine building game. One of my favorites, if not my favorite, lighter engine building games. And as I say that, I'm thinking of other light engine buildings that I have that I enjoy. But this is one of the top. You're constructing buildings and doing that with the help of workers and so forth. Really cool because it's, you do one thing per, you grab one building per round, I think it is. Let me think. Okay, the solo game. You're playing against the machine. They have their little way of doing things. But what I love about this is you're rolling dice. And the die, I'm a sucker for dice. So you're rolling dice, and that's going to give you, depending on what cards you've built, resources or abilities to get other resources. Some will convert them to other resources. And eventually, you're trying to get, I think it's 15 victory points, or that triggers a launch of the end of the game. So good. I don't play this one nearly enough. I don't know why. I think it's just one of those games that I sort of like I don't know. It might have been like in a different part of my, the different shelves or whatever, so I wasn't looking at it as much. But I remember when I played this, like, man, why am I not playing this more? I did this for my alphabet board game challenge, where I'm trying to play a game for every letter of the alphabet. Obviously, F is for Fantastic Factories. Oh, I actually played Gizmos, I think, for letter G. So I'm up to letter H now, I believe, and we'll be doing that soon. Again, check the show notes below, folks, for links to where you can find me and where you can hang out with me on Discord and stuff. Let's move on to the number 12 game of the month. This is another perennial favorite of mine. This is a Tiny Epic Galaxies. Now, I actually played this over on Cephalofair's channel on Twitch. I am managing their channel during their campaign for Gloomhaven, the role-playing game Miniatures of Gloomhaven, and also they just announced it, Gloomhaven's 2nd edition. So as part of just like to hype up the to I guess build on the hype and promotion of their campaign, I played a couple of games on their channel just to sort of test things out. Tiny Epic Galaxies was the game I chose because I love it. It's a great solo game. It's my favorite of the Tiny Epic series. Scott Alm's great designer. And Tiny Epic Galaxies, it's another dice placement game or dice chucking games, which I'm a sucker for. So, in Tiny Epic Galaxies, you are trying to get different planets to join your galaxy, and you do that through dice placement, and it's a race to 21 points. I love the solo game. There's varying levels. My most recent play was, I think, level 3, which is like the hard level, not like the insane, like, whatever insane level, epic level. But I lost. It was tough. I can beat the beginner and standard level pretty regularly, but this level 3, I think, was a tough one. But this one, this is the game that you're seeing right now. This one I'd done a while back here on the channel. I have a bunch of plays here. I highly recommend this. If you're going to play one Tiny Epic game, Galaxies, in my opinion, is the one to play. Okay, moving on to number 11. And why don't I go over to... Oh, why is this... Oh, okay. Let's go to Board Game Geek for my number 11, which is Critical Foundation Season 1. I did not play this on stream. I played this with my niece, of all people. I received this game from Hachette Games with Gigamet, I believe. There it is right here. Critical Foundation. It's a role-playing game in board game form. They're basically taking the, was it, board game or role-playing game format and making a more of a accessible to board gamers. And what they have are a couple of scenarios. There's the box right there, all the goodies. One player is going to be the GM, and then you could have up to four players, three other players, play as the players. So the GM will be, basically running the NPC and teaching, or not teaching, but showing, getting the players, the adventurers, to go on this really cool cyberpunky, dystopian, futuristic theme. What I like about it is it's set up like a mini series, like a show. So the first game, I think they're 30 to 45 minutes each. First game that I did was the game Zero, sort of like the introductory game. And it really meant a lot to me to play with my niece because she's recently shown an interest in role-playing games. And we've done a little RPG stuff in the past, just, introductory stuff. And this one, we played just two players, and I said, hey, you're gonna, we'll just play two players just so you get the hang of it. It'll be better as four. But she had mentioned that she wants to play, RPGs this summer, now that she has a summer off from school. And I said, hey, I will come over and GM for you and your friends. And I think she really liked this one. She got into the character, and she had to solve a puzzle or mystery of like, oh, how am I gonna, like, I think it was like defuse bombs or something like that. I won't get too much into the story because I think it's worth checking this out as an introductory way of getting into RPGs if you're a board gamer. Really well done, and it makes things simple, especially for a GM. It has a lot of like text that you can read to your players, and it'll sort of guide you as a first-time GM like how to do one of these games. So definitely check that out. That is Critical Foundation Season 1. I believe they already have Season 2 out, which is really cool because I want to see where this story goes. And hopefully my niece will still be into it as she, dives into role-playing games. Okay, moving right along, my number 10. This is the one I talked about actually during the pre-show. Folks, if you're all watching this on YouTube, I do live stream on Twitch. And before I actually record this, I'm talking to friends in chat about other things as well. And one of the things I talked about were the games I played on Board Game Arena. One of them is Castles of Burgundy. I've been playing that a lot lately, and I actually got to play this on my channel recently. I did a solo game. I think what was it for my channel? I forget. I played it a few times, and the thing is, why did I go here? Why don't I go to Castles of Burgundy on YouTube and find my solo play? I found this really simple solo play or a rule set. Here it is. I did this for the board game Alphabet Board Game Challenge on my channel. I found a really simple rule set where on BGG where you can play solo. It's basically a two-player game, and you just have an extra die, and that represents your opponent just taking tiles off. Castle Burgundy is a classic Euro game. My favorite from Steffenfeld, and it's really easy to play online or off. They have a really good implementation on BGA, and when I want to play with friends, that's the way I go. But solo wise, I don't know, there's something about, I know this one takes a little while to set up as well because there's so many pieces. But something about just physically playing a game, that to me, that's the jam. That's what I'm all about. If you have never played it before, highly recommend. Try it at least once. It's a dice game, a tile laying game, but it's so smart, and you're just building a state in Burgundy, and all the different tiles have different scoring conditions, abilities, and you're trying to score regions. I'm not going to get too much into it because I think you should just play it, folks. For years I didn't play this game. I had heard about it, but I just never played it. I was like, and I didn't want to learn it. Like, I mean, I tried to learn it, but at the time I was still new to the hobby. I was like, oh, there's a lot of rules, but I had someone teach it to me at a game night, and I fell in love immediately. And then I went back and read the rules, like, okay, the rule book's pretty straightforward. It's nothing too tricky. But again, as a newer gamer, it can be a little overwhelming. So, check out other tile laying games or dice manipulation games or placement games or dice chucking games that incorporate tile laying. start with that and move on to Castles of Burgundy. You'll never look back. It's so good. It's a classic. One of my top 10 games of all time. Castles of Burgundy by Stefan Feld. Okay, why don't I go over here and let's get ready for the next game. Did I? Okay, yeah, I do. We're in top 10, friends. Games I played in May. The next one up is a game that I soloed, again, for my Alphabet Board Game Challenge. I'm going through all the letters in the alphabet, folks, and one of them was E for Evergreen. And oh, hey, I also did it for Rahdo's channel. Why don't we show Rahdo's video? Evergreen, from the designer of Photosynthesis. Oh, so good. I like this one better than Photosynthesis. This one, it is puzzly. And why is this? Oh, okay. I guess I don't have ads blocked or something. I'm going to, folks, I record this live on Twitch. Oh, y'all watching YouTube. Can I have my ad blocker set where I just block all ads always on this page? Oh, and sure enough, it goes to an ad. How funny is that? 3, 2, 1. Skip that ad. Anyways, there's Evergreen. You're trying to build different biomes on your planet, and eventually you're going to score based on how the sun hits those pieces. You see the sun there? It rotates clockwise, so it's going to hit your pieces, your plants and trees from different angles. Oh, it's so smart. I highly recommend this one. This is, I would say a step up from Photosynthesis. I actually like this one better because Photosynthesis, sometimes with those trees, couldn't really see stuff. This, you can see everything. You know exactly how it is planned, but it's a really neat puzzle, a Euro-y puzzle of like, okay, I'm going to draft this card, but I'm going to give this card up. And the cards that you give up are eventually the ones you're going to score, which is such a neat little twist. I like that, where you have that tension of, oh man, am I going to play this now and get the points now, or do I let that go and then try to score that at the end? Very, very interesting twist. And also, I like the AI in this. Playing solo game is really easy to manage, and it's definitely a great challenge as well. So, highly recommend this. This is Evergreen, my number 9 for the month. All right, moving right along. Number 8 on the list is, I love Pencil First games, friends, and this is their roll and write game. This is delicious. It is a delicious game. A roll and write game that takes about 20 or 30 minutes, right there in the wheelhouse for Pencil First game. It's a Steve Finn game, and we love Dr. Steve Finn, folks. So why don't I get... Oh, I played it on Tabletop Live Network. Did I play this with Michelle? I believe I did. Yeah, here we are laughing about it. We're eating. So, of course, we're laughing and eating. There's Benny the Bits Bear. And here, just like in other Pencil First games, they've really done a lot to pack into a small box game. I love it. It is, you flip over a card, or you draw 2 cards and 2 tiles, almost like a dual drafting thing, and you're going to decide, do you want to plant the veggies? Which veggie do you want to plant? Then which fruit do you want to plant in your fruit planter? And what you're going to do is take either a card on top there, or a card on bottom, or both of them, or you can switch it up. Take a card on the bottom, the token on top, and vice versa. And you can only do each of those certain amount of times per game. So it's got a really nice tension. It's like, okay, I want to do this now, like this move, but I'm going to, that means I can't do it in future turns. And you can only do a certain amount of time. So you really got to look out for your timing here. The scoring is very similar to other things that Steve Finn does. One planter is like you want all the same plants there. One you want all different. Others you want pairs and so forth. So you'll recognize some of that scoring from his other games, but the mechanism of rolling and writing is really clever here. And I like the fact that, they show you how to draw the different fruits and veggies, but you can, of course, just use the letter F for fig, the letter, whatever. I always call it grapefruit, but I think it was like golden raspberries or something for the G. So yeah, there I'm pointing out right there, showing how to draw them. I use letters, but I think Michelle actually drew them, which is really neat. But yeah, wonderful. Another wonderful game from Pencil First. I'll recommend all of their games. It's so good. Delicious. My number 8 for the month. Okay, number 7 for the month, in the month of May, that I played. Again, another game that has gotten a lot of play because I love it. It's one of my all-time favorite games. It is the Spiel des Jahres winner and the American Tabletop winner, Cascadia. Um, we're you know, I love tile laying, as you can tell by this list. Michelle and I, that's one of our favorite mechanisms together. We love Cascadia, and why? Let's see, Cascadia. I know I've played it a little. Oh, here, we'll show you this one. Daryl and I do a thing. Man, did I get commercials now? Bummer. Daryl and I do a series called On the Clock, and this is where we play games as fast as we can, given a certain time limit. And we did Cascadia in 12 minutes or less. So we use a chess clock, and once you do a move, you hit it, and then the other player has. So we gave each other, like, I think 6 minutes, so 12 minutes total. And in Cascadia, it's a dual draft. You draft a tile, your habitat. You draft an animal, and you have to place the animal on a previously placed tile or the one you just drafted that matches. So a fox will go on a fox, bear goes on a bear, and so forth. And what's great about Cascadia is all the different animals score differently, and there's several versions of each animal. So I think this one, we probably just went the basic, but they're, like a bear, they will score if they're paired with another bear. The hawk scores by itself, it's not adjacent to another hawk, and so forth. But those will change depending on what scoring card you get. I've had ones where the bears, they score in little groups. So you got to have a group of 2, 3, or 4, and so forth. And then the hawks, they have to have like a line of sight with another hawk. Really interesting. I really enjoyed doing the On the Clock series. This one, I mean, it's funny because it's fun to do because it's fast. As far as strategy and so forth, Daryl and I pick games that we already know really well. So it's almost like second nature. Like, I would never do this for a game I'm playing for the first or second time, right? I want to play something I'm really sure, something that we don't have to always consult the rules to. So we've done like Cascadia, Stone Age, King Domino, things that we really know well, so we can play as fast as we can. And our goal is to always play the game in half the time or less as it's estimated on the box. So Cascadia, I think it said like 30 to 45 minutes. Darn, said, okay, what's half of like 30 minutes? 15. We're going to push it to 12. And we actually knocked it out in like 10, I think. So it can be played that quickly. You're not going to be the most optimal play because you are trying to go as fast as you can. But again, if it's a game that you played a lot, it's sort of ingrained in you, the strategy and so forth. But anyways, I highly recommend Cascadia, whether you're playing against the clock or not. It has won awards, deservedly so. It's still popular, and I still love playing it. That's why it's my number 7 for the month, Cascadia. Okay, let's move on to number 6, getting close to the top here, folks. As AC/DC said, it's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, we're not talking rock and roll, but we are talking about my number 6 game, Starry Night Sky. Hey, this is the new one from Emma Larkins, big fan of Emma's, and about all artichokes and other games that she's done. This is the newest one, and it is a wonderful gateway style game, friends. It's a beautiful board. You're looking up at constellations and trying to check out the constellations by placing stars on them. You have 3 different color stars, and you're going to place them. You get stars every round. They go into your little player board. You can only put 1 star per little area that you have there. And then from those 3 areas, you choose one to use on a constellation. When you place it on a constellation, you get a point. When you complete a constellation, you get more points. And then you have goals that you can do every round that you'll get more points. And finally, you have secret goals that'll score you more points at the end of the game. I love all the positive feedback in this game. It's like almost everything you're doing is like getting points, and I love that. I think it's so important for new gamers, right, to have that positive feedback early and often. I'm a big fan of this game. Now, in the video, Daryl and I, we had actually, right after we did this video, we noticed we sort of screwed up a couple of minor rules. And then actually Emma was really kind and helped me figure out the ones that we, missed and misplayed. So I don't know. I mean, it was nothing major broken about it, but we still had a great time with this. And Michelle and I enjoy this game. This is Starry Night Sky. Hey, just in time for a commercial. I think that's a good time to move on over to the next game on the list, number 5, and let me skip the ads here. Number 5 on my list. Oh, yeah, I played this one. Again, I know this solo game that I played on Cephalofair's channel recently, helping them build hype for their Twitch channel, but this is It's a Wonderful Life. People call this the, what do they call it? Seven Wonders killer. Like, I don't know if it actually kills Seven Wonders. I would rather play this than Seven Wonders. But I think Seven Wonders does, neat things as well. I just like this because I don't have to worry about science scoring from that. This is really straightforward. Engine building, card drafting. There was a lot going on for an introductory style game. I'd call this maybe a gateway plus-ish. Because they're really to figure out the strategy and stuff, it does take a... I can't, unless you're, well, yeah, for a casual gamer, they can figure it out. But there was a lot of icons and stuff that could be a little overwhelming for someone totally new to the hobby. But as gamers, friends, if you haven't played It's a Wonderful World, definitely check it out. You draft cards, after you draft them, you're going to use resources and get those resources to build more cards. And the cards that you build, they add to your engine to give you more resources to build more cards. And then some cards give you bonus points. And it's so good. And it's so quick. 4 rounds. So it's always that point of like, I've built up enough stuff on my engine. Let me run it a couple times, then the game's over. I think it hits just the right amount of time for this 30 to 45 minutes where you have just enough time to get your engine building going, get a big turn, and then after the big turn, it's all over. I always want to see, by the 4th round, I usually have a really good engine going. I'd always like to see how much I can produce on the 5th round, but then it's like, no, this is the perfect amount of time for this game. I've built my empire. I've run it a couple of times. I've gotten the resources, and hopefully I've got enough points to win. Highly recommend the solo game as well, friends, because the way now card drafting usually isn't something that's done really well for a solo game. In fact, I don't think it's done that often. But they did a really clever way to do that, where they have little piles of cards you choose from, and from that pile of cards you can discard some to draw from the deck a few more. So you're going to get through a lot of the cards. It's a big deck of cards, and I was really afraid of, like, how am I going to get through this deck? But the solo game does address that properly, and it's a fantastic way they do it. So highly recommend. Do I say that on every game? Highly recommend. Well, check this one out if you like card drafting. How about that? I will quit highly recommending all 22 games on my list. Hopefully I haven't been that bad. But hey, let's get to number 4. We're on our top 5 now. Number 4 is Star Wars, the deck building game. Oh my goodness. The deck building game is it's wonderful. It is everything I wanted in a Star Wars deck building game. Here's the run through I did for Rahdo's channel right here. I don't think I've played it on my channel yet. I'm actually waiting, and I know it's been created. I wanted to do a solo version of this, a solo game. I got to play this on Rahdo's channel. I got to play with the Good Time Society crew with Jake Michaels and friends. It's Star Realms repackaged and improved, folks. Not only in theme, because I love Star Wars, but the mechanism is really neat. You are one side the Rebel, one side's the Empire. Boo. And you're going to have cards from both factions, and also cards that are on no factions. You have like your mercenaries, your bounty hunters. You can hire those folks and bring them into your deck. Obviously, the Empire is going to get all the baddies on their side, and then the Rebels are going to get all the good goodies on their side, and that'll help you improve your deck. You have 3 resources. You have resources. You have combat, and then the third currency you have to think about is the Force. And I like the Force a lot. I think it's a really neat tug of war. And if the Force is on your side, some cards are going to give you an ability, a special ability. If the Force is completely on your side, there's a little track, as you can see at the top there. Completely on your side, if it starts there, you're going to get an additional resource. So you're really trying to work the Force. Oh, it's so good. I love this. It reminds me a little bit of, I think it was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers deck builder. I mean, they're different enough. They're 2 separate games, but it's got that similar aspect of, I can hit cards in the middle. So I can, try to take out Darth Vader before you get him into your deck. And you do that through combat. And likewise, you can try to get, Han Solo out of my deck if he's in the middle row there. Oh, and I like how the combos work. So, there's literally a combo of like Luke and Leia. If you get those in your deck, you're going to work, they get extra resources or turns, draw cards. You get the Han and Chewie card, and then you get the Millennium Falcon. Oh, I love it. It's a Star Wars geek. I think it's a must-have. That is not only number 4 for the month of May, Star Wars, the deck building game. Let me get some orange juice here. Moving on to number 3, top 3 friends, and boy, I love these games. Uh, yeah, number 3, no surprise here, a game by Phil Walker Harding called My Shelfie. Praise be Mr. Walker Harding. Um, this is Connect Four for gamers. That's all. That's how you gotta describe it. Um, you have a board. Oh, here, Monique and Naveen are playing it. I play on my channel too with Julie. But you can see here. Oh, they played. Okay, they actually laid it down like that. These little shelves you're going to fill with books, games, cats, plants, and so forth. And it's a neat little set collection game. But what really sets it apart from like a Connect Four or whatever is, I want to show. I know Monique and Naveen have it laying down. I want to show you how it looks standing up. Here it is. Julie and I are playing. There's an ad. Maybe I should just pay for a premium. I had it before. Here's Julie. I look like a giant. I mean, Julie is shorter than me, but I look like a giant. Here are the little shelves that you have. They're standing up, and you physically drop the pieces just like Connect Four. In the living room, you're going to draw 1 to 3 depending on what you want, and as long as there's one side that's open. And then the trick here is that the 1 to 3 pieces you pick, you can only drop it in one column. So unlike Connect 4, you can't do like across the board or whatever. It's only one column. So it's got that spatial element. Hey, there's my zoom in on that. You can see the cats. So you're going to have to, it's a spatial puzzle of like, how can I line these up to get the way I want? Number 1, you got set collection. You want as many, depending on what you have on your secret mission, you want those on your, in certain spots. But the spatial puzzle really is, those public goals. You have to have them in a certain row or column or a special like shape. And then you have area control, not area control, but area majority, not area majority even. Just you want orthogonally adjacent similar pieces. So I want to have a bunch of cats next to each other. If I get 3 of them or more, I get a point. 4, get another point. I think the max is 6 tiles next to each other for I think it's like 8 points or something. So, I love this game. Michelle loves it as well. I've introduced this to a couple of friends. We all love it. We play it on BGA as well. It's a really nice implementation there. But Connect Four for gamers, folks. That's all you got to say. This is one that is a big hit. Oops, why did I press pause? There you go. It's a big hit so far from Lucky Duck Games, and I think it's going to continue to be a big hit, especially with new gamers. That is number 3, My Shelfie. We got 2 left. Number 2, this one really blew me away. I got to look at this one at PAX Unplugged last year, and I knew it was going to be a hit. This is Nimalia, and let's see, has anyone played it? Nimalia review. I don't have. Oh, here's Board Games with Steph. Steph and Michael played it. Best way to describe it, it's a tile laying game using these cards, right? You can see the cards there. It's a drafting game, so you have 3 cards. You draft one, place it in your tableau. You're trying to build these animal reserves, and then you pass them over, draft another one. You draft 3 per round. That's the round, and you score. The scoring depends on which round it is, but you're going to score like different types of animals, like where they are on your tableau, how many you have, the placement, and so forth. And as you go around, each round scores differently. You're going to have a round where you score the A and B scoring conditions. The next round is going to be B and C. It's sort of like cartographers in that sense. So I've been comparing this game to 3 different games. Number 1, King Domino. You have to place your tableau there. In King Domino's 4x4, I think, or 5x5. This one is a 6x6. As you can see there, each card has 4 different items. So you're going to have to do 6x6 of those little squares within the squares. King Domino, and then also cartographers as far as scoring. And then finally, Sprawlopolis. The Sprawlopolis part comes in. You have to cover at least one other box or piece of a card when you come on there. Now, Sprawlopolis, is that how it exactly works? You may in Sprawlopolis, but you cannot put them underneath. You can always put them on top. So, love this game. I played, I think, a dozen times already. I got it 2 weeks ago or so. Michelle's a big fan of it. I've played it with a bunch of people, and it would have been my number. Honestly, it could have easily been my number 1. I love it so much. That is Nimalia. But there's one more that I played that Michelle and I played recently, just last week, and the theme, the blend of theme and mechanisms really, really just shined. And I loved it. Was like perfect. This is a game called Books of Time. It's a new one from Board and Dice. It was just released this past week at UKG. Or wait, yeah, the UK Games Expo. Hey, where's mine? I love Rodney, but I want to show off the gameplay here. Ruel, Books of Time. There it is. We played during Tabletop Live Network. It's a tableau builder, one of the most unique tableau builders I've ever seen. This has you literally building a book in your hand. You actually have 3 books: Science, Industry, and Trade, I believe they are. And as you can see there, Michelle's taking her book up. All the different pages, they have different icons on them. You're going to collect sets of them depending on your scoring conditions. But you slot those in your books, and then you're going to do the actions by activating them. Then you turn the page, and there's new actions on the new pages. It's so good. Oh, there I am looking at the rulebook. They actually have, these are all based on actual authors and inventors throughout the ages, and they talk about them there. It's really great. I was really surprised, too. It was a pleasant surprise how diverse that a set of people are. And again, shout out to Mick and Starla from Our Family Games, Our Family Plays Games. They are the cultural consultants for Board and Dice. So, anyways, you have different objectives you can complete. You have a civilization board you're trying to go up. There's a lot going on here, but the gameplay is so streamlined. You are just taking pages in your book, doing the actions, and then moving on to the next player's turn. And as you start chaining those actions together, you move up the civilization track, you get more things going on, your book expands, you can turn pages, you can even close the book, get certain resources, open it up again, and that's for your next turn. So good. I absolutely adore this game, and it was my favorite game by far of the month, Books of Time. And there you go, friends. That has been my list of games I played in May 2023. I hope you enjoyed the game, or I hope you enjoyed the games if you played them. But I hope you enjoyed watching this list. I record this live on Twitch, and I do this every month. And I've also launched in a new show where I want to talk about the games you played. So if you want, hit the show notes below to check out that video, and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll see you next time here on Ruel's Wrap Up. Bye, friends.